Sono Giulia Sandra Virsta, corrispondente National di Bucarest. Vorrei sapere un po' la sua esperienza in questo momento girando il suo film Nell'Aquila e come si trova con gli attori italiani tipo Violante e Placido. Grazie.
Violante is wonderful. We've only been working together for about 3 weeks now, but she's just a wonderful actress, and I think she's going to just be tremendous in the film. L'Aquila is a very, we're in Sulmona now, which was not as badly damaged, obviously, as other areas that I visited during the G8. When I was there in July, there were a lot of blue tents that people were staying in, and the concern was, are they going to be in homes because it's going to get cold? There seems to have been a very good effort in helping those people get out of those tents and get into something warm. The problem is, and we've had this experience with Katrina in New Orleans, is that everybody wants to do the right thing. Everybody wants to help people when something terrible happens, and they do. But after about a year or a few months, they fall off of the radar. They no longer become lead news stories. And because of that, they fall out of fundraising, and they don't get, it doesn't get finished. New Orleans is nowhere near fixed, and we don't talk about it enough. And so we felt like doing the film there was not only going to be able to employ some people that could use it and to take hotels and restaurants and like that, but also that we're going to be able to sort of keep the focus in that area. So I'm glad you asked the question, and remind all of us, you and people in other parts of the world, that a real disaster happened there, and a lot of people are it's going to be a long time before they're back on their feet.
Ancora una domanda lì?
I have a question about working together and about timing. How did you work together? Do you play out scenes for George and then he repeats it, or is the comedy? Do you get the comedy side in the editing? Can you just explain, both of you, how you work together?
No, I never acted out a scene for George or anyone I've ever worked with.
He did do the dancing.
Except for the dancing, of course.
No, it was, Jason has such a great way with actors. You find that the best directors that you work with sort of set you off in the right direction, and then they leave you alone, and then when you start veering off course, they come in and they point you back in the right direction, and they don't sort of overwhelm you. They just, but they know exactly what they want. You want to work with directors with a point of view. This film was shot with a point of view because he's a director. He knows exactly what he wants. It couldn't have been an easier experience in that sense. People are oftentimes kind to actors when they like them in a movie. Most of the time you could thank the screenwriter or the director for that, not the actor. And that's the truth.
Working with George is one of the great experiences of my life that I know I will. No, I'm not. I'm not being disingenuous, and I'm not making a joke. I started writing this script 7 years ago, and at the time I never thought I'd be lucky enough to work with George. And the day he said yes in Coma was one of the great days of my life. And it was an overwhelming moment. My heart swelled and almost burst out of my chest. I was so excited. And everything you hear about him is true. He's a lovely human being and incredible to work with. And it was one of the easiest directing jobs I've ever had, and one of the easiest directing jobs I'll ever have. There was very little to do. I would just watch. He would be amazing. I'd say, okay, let's move on. Let's do something else.
C'era ancora una domanda? Qualcuno che aveva il microfono?
Sentono? Buongiorno, salve. Ho due domande. La prima domanda per Jason Reitman. Se dovesse dire qual è il film di George Clooney che l'ha fatto più ridere nel passato e quello che invece l'ha commosso di più. E una domanda per George. Ciao George, ormai tu sei un po' un mezzo italiano, anche se parli poco l'italiano. Secondo me l'ente del turismo italiano dovrebbe darti un premio per aver fatto conoscere posti sconosciuti per molti, specialmente per gli italiani, come Sulmona, come anche l'Aquila, come l'Aglio. Allora la mia domanda è: se tu per un giorno fossi il primo ministro italiano, tu che ormai cominci un po' a conoscere l'Italia, che cosa faresti in questo primo giorno, a parte dal provvedimento di creare una Guantanamo speciale per i giornalisti di gossip?
I can think of the torture. Oh, the torture scene. If I was, you know, I don't even know. Why don't you answer your question first?
This is what you did that made me laugh and cried. Well, yeah. Well, I think that's pretty clear. He's dancing.
Which was the crying or the laughing part?
Once again, I think it's really clear. I think it was his dancing.
I don't know I don't know how to answer that one. But you can't. Isn't Prime Minister like President of the United States? So do you have to be born in Italy to be the Prime Minister? So I can't. No. Shit. I'm staying out of politics. I'll tell you that. I learned my lessons.
Ok, allora dobbiamo chiudere qui. Grazie a tutti e grazie ai nostri ospiti.